Kyle Shanahan in particular talked about the offensive line coach, Chris Forster, and this, I had to rewind it. I don't know what the question was. It was about having to replace all these coaches. Right. And he went to Mike McDaniel and he kind of scoffed. Everyone thinks it's going to be such a big deal to replace McDaniel. I mean, nothing against McDaniel. We worked together for a long time, but he was my assistant. Everyone, he was a run game coordinator. He did a lot of stuff. He learned the run game from Chris Forster in Washington. I was like, what? Oh, okay. So Kyle doesn't really care. And cares, but he's not really concerned. It's just someone else he has to delegate to, a new assistant.
I thought it was eye-opening, too, because it reveals a mindset that is a truism around the league, which is that your offensive line coach means a ton. Yeah. McKittrick meant a ton to the Niners. Dante Zarnecchia meant a ton to the Patriots. Alex Gibbs meant a ton to the Broncos. Hudson Hawk
meant a ton to Harbaugh.
Yep. Hudson Hawk meant a ton to the Cowboys of the 90s. O-line, your elite O-line coach is an incredibly valuable coach. And obviously they view Forster as an elite guy. And he basically said so today.
And I was always wondering, what is it about Forster that keeps him around? I think he's one of the higher paid position coaches in the league. Why? Because really the Niners don't have a great track record of drafting and developing offensive linemen. But what Kyle basically said today was, he's been on the team about 3 years. I mean, he's kind of been the architect of the run game. And if you think about it, the run game really has taken on a new life the last 3 years when Deebo Samuel's gotten here. It's become much different than it was the first 2 years here with Matt Breida. Anyway, I guess he's saying, that's the old guy, not the young guy.
That's designing the run game and the diversification of the run game. It's a diverse rushing attack. They're, using a bunch of different backs. They're using different formations, different type runs. And Forster, obviously, they feel is the key factor there in teaching their offense. It all comes down to teaching, I think. And ultimately, it sounds like Forster is the guy who's the respected teacher in the room.
Also, it's there are the wise old heads who are the architects of what the offense is going to look like in the offseason. Kyle, Chris Forster, maybe Mike Shanahan. And then there are the people doing the grunt work on a day-to-day basis during the season. The people, because Kyle can't do everything. So it's Kyle's hey, Mike, watch these clips of the upcoming opponent. Tell me what they do in these situations. All the things he doesn't want to do and trust Mike to do. I guess that's how he looks at it. It's I trust him, but I'm not asking him for his input on the big picture of things. Or maybe he was. I don't know.
Well, I was told a couple of years ago that John Benton was a key figure in the 49er rushing attack, and he was the Niner O-line coach, I think, pre-Forster, wasn't he? Benton.
Well, look. He's now with the Jets. Look at their running game. Look at the Niners' running game. Maybe that's the Chris Forster effect.
Well, we're going to find out. The one thing about Forster, though, the one thing about the Niners is they sure have a lot of different ways to run it. They got a bunch of different looking backs. They got receivers that can run. They've got Ray McLeod, who's a gadget guy. You just had a Danny Gray. They've got weapons. And so on paper, they've got all the ingredients to have a diverse rushing attack. And now it's about the O-line coach who can design it and make it go.
I'm looking him up real quick. Chris Forster he's been around forever, but he was the offensive line coach for Washington in 2012 when they had all those rushing yards from the pistol with Robert Griffin III. I wonder if we're going to see some of that offense. I'm sure it's evolved since then, but Chris Forster was there.
I could see that. Being part of the mix. Why not? Why not take advantage of all the ways that Trey can have an advantage on a defense? And using him out of the pistol is probably a great idea. At least it makes it another look to have to defend.
I always thought the pistol was kind of genius. It allows you to have a play-action passing game. It allows you to run both left and right. You can do outside zone. I always liked it. I don't understand why it kind of got phased out. Did it? I don't see it as much.
Well, I don't know if it got phased out as much as that there weren't who was using it. I mean, the 49ers were using it. I mean, you see an isolated pistol. Yeah, I mean, you see an isolated pistol formation around the league, but it's hardly staple.